Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. Greeting, ladies. For again I speak to that which is the Lemurian Sisterhood. There are so many things that I have spoken of in the past and given you. I want you to relax for just a moment. I want you to feel something. In this chair, a moment ago, I defined what your innate was. Finally, I told you what it is. When you have trillions of molecules of identical DNA, there is a confluence that happens. They're identical. It should tell you something. That there is a system. And the identicalness of them is almost like a patterning, a circle. It creates a field, and that field is not visible, for it is a multidimensional field. DNA has these attributes which will be discovered. And we told you that this field is the Merkaba. We also told you that the Merkaba is 8 meters wide. That's about 26 feet for you. And that means that each one of you ladies is sitting in someone else's Merkaba. So am I. What happens when you get that many Merkabas together? There is another field created. And you know all about that one. There's a camaraderie. Don't look at me as a male. Don't listen to the low voice. I am Kryon. I am genderless. My partner steps aside. I take him in these meetings to places he doesn't remember. We speak as women. When you get together in this way and you entangle your innates together in this way, the sisterhood is born. You've always heard where 2 or more are gathered together. That's the premise. Because you intertwine, you entangle, you have a confluence of energy together that creates something bigger than you are separately. We've talked about what you did. In the sisterhood, we spoke about what was important, what you did not do, perhaps. We've covered so much. I want to talk to you about something. What do you think about what I said? Some of you are very practical. You have to be. Some of you carry the torch of the family's income. You have the babies. You do most of the work. I know that. And in that practicality of survival on this planet at this time, you still are here. What do you think about being here? How does this fit into survival and practicalness? Can you soften up for a moment, even more than you are as women, and see something? What are the odds you were there? What are the odds you were a woman and you were there? You were born at this auspicious time during that which is needed for you to be a female, and you were a female. This is not an accident. We've said this before. And here you sit. Does your innate, does your DNA ring with this truth that you are part of something called a sisterhood in a place that was either Lemuria or a derivative of it, doing sisterhood things? And the answer is that you were. Almost all of you. Not all in Lemuria. Some of you were putting together sisterhood kind of things outside of Lemuria, but you were using Lemurian energy to do it. But here you sit together. So what is the camaraderie? You might have done it lifetimes apart. And so why does it ring as one to you now? What brings you together? And the answer is this, dear ones. Ladies, you should know this. When you combine innates, merkabas, in this fashion, it's timeless. All of you share all of the experiences of the others. It's a bigger experience than one can have. And you start to resound with what the others have done. First time we've told you this kind of thing. When the Aborigines do women's business, they count on this. That the energy that is gathered together for them to solve that which is the culture's issues. That they've got to go to a sacred place to do it, and they amplify themselves to do it. Part of the amplification has even been mislabeled as dream time. They step out of themselves to experience that which their ancestors experienced. You with you. They have the same thing. It's not Lemurian for them. It's part of the sacredness of the rock for them. They have their own Lemuria. But you resound to it. I want to ask you, as you sit there alone, I want to ask you, haven't some of you had the feeling of great wisdom inside? Just be honest with me for a moment. You have more wisdom than one lifetime will give you. You can look around the planet and you can see solutions. You know what they are. There's something outside of yourself, something bigger than yourself that you know and you can identify. And you always have known this. You don't know who to speak to. You don't know how to talk to. But it's always been there. It's always been you. I want to tell you that this is the time you're going to share it, because all of you experience the other. There's something bigger here than it seems. Meliha knew how to generate this. She was taught by a Pleiadian. This is what awakening is in her. And so she guides you through certain kinds of things that she remembers. It's not true. You can't necessarily have a Lemurian sisterhood with anyone simply who remembers it. The teachers, the way showers, the ones who are giving the guidance are the ones to give you the guidance now. Meliha is one. So I challenge her. I haven't heard much, Meliha, about your staff. And I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about a stick. Where'd the stick go? Why haven't you talked about it? Why haven't you then told the ladies what the stick was for? Maybe it's time I told them what the stick was for. You see, the men knew what the stick was for, and here's what it is. You pass the stick around, and every lady who handles the stick gives a statement of how she's helping a man in the culture. Listen to this. You're helping the men. And that is your focus. Will their fish catch work? Will they go to the right place? Can you send them the right energy? Are some of them dysfunctional, unbalanced? Every single woman takes the stick and talks about helping a man. Now you know why the men in your culture loved what you did. If you wanted to do a Lemurian sisterhood every night, they said, please go and do it. They supported this because they saw the results of it, because they knew that when you were meeting, you were generating so much energy, and it was sacred, and you were talking about them, and you were helping them. Did you know that this was the role of the women? They counted on you. In their own way, they helped you. They helped you with the food, the survival, all of the things that men do. But the women were special because they had the permission to go beyond what a human can do. to actually develop a shamanic energy when the women were together to help the men. And in that they helped themselves. This is cultural. Do you understand this is not a separation of gender at all? It's a meld like you haven't really seen before. I want you to remember it. That's the wisdom that you carry. Let it begin. And so it